What's up, YouTube? CharminEXSoft here, coming at you guys with another Friday the 13th game video, and today we're going to be talking about maps and some other mechanics. Now, today's video is not going to be as long as usual due to the lack of information able to be released at this time, but I do think you will still find this video very informative nonetheless. Also, do remember I always am actively searching for more confirmed information to report on, so rest assured when I find out more, I'll be posting it on the channel as well. But let's start off by showing you a clip of one of the 3 map locations in the game. We will see it launch slowed down so you can see all of the detail that was put into bringing this map to life. Now, I am sure you've all seen this clip before, but whether or not you knew it, what you're seeing is the main house from Friday the 13th Part 3, known as Higgins Haven. It's in this movie, around this location, where Jason Voorhees first got his hockey mask, giving him that iconic look we all know and love today. Now, a lot of you probably heard me say before that Gun Media and IllFonic are very detail-oriented in trying to stay as true as possible to the Friday the 13th franchise, and the Higgins Haven map is a prime example of that. This map does not just have the house, but it also has the barn and some other areas to explore as well. Gun Media and IllFonic are, again, so detail-oriented that the main house of Higgins Haven is to scale from the real thing down to the inch. But this was no easy task, as a superfan many years ago was messing around in the house trying to recreate some scenes from Friday the 13th Part 3, and he accidentally burnt the house down to the ground. But that did not stop them from bringing us this iconic location, as Gun Media and IllFonic did a lot of digging around and even got in contact with like the city and some other officials and whatnot to track down the architectural schematics for the original house to bring us this iconic location to life in the game. Everything you see in this house is just as it was in the movie, showing you once again how much time and effort Gun Media and IllFonic are putting into this game to make you feel like you're living a real Friday the 13th experience. But this is not the only map the game has to offer. As I said before, there's going to be 3 maps at launch available for us to play. Another is Crystal Lake, and the third is yet to be announced, so we can only imagine what that could be. Now, a lot of people, I'm sure, are really worried about the aspect of only 3 maps, but let me tell you 2 reasons why this does not bother me at all. First, Friday the 13th, the game has stated time and time again on Twitter that they fully plan to support this game after it's launched. So I personally believe, but cannot confirm, that we may see more maps and other things coming down the road after the release of this game in the future in updates and such. So we'll just have to wait and see how that works out. And another thing that puts my mind at ease is when I was talking to Wes Keltner, one of the co-creators for the game, he told me that the maps will be randomly generated so you won't get tired of them and whatnot. Now, let me explain a bit more about that, because I'm sure you've heard, other games say something similar to this before in the past, but I'm telling you, Friday the 13th, the game is taking this to the next level. So, let's use Crystal Lake, for example. Crystal Lake is another map that's going to be in the game, like I've already said. But with this map here, it's basically a combination of all the different campgrounds that were in the movies around Crystal Lake. So it's a huge map that just has a lot of different campgrounds around it. And we already know, as I've said before in my Jason Voorhees breakdown video, that the maps can be about the size of a Battlefield Conquest large map, and as of right now, it takes Jason about 7 to 8 minutes in real time to walk completely across them. So, they're pretty big. Now, Wes Keltner told me on our Skype call that buildings will spawn on these maps in groups, like individual campgrounds, for example. But one time you play, you may see 9 cabins all tucked together in a spot, and the next time you play, you may come across the same campground, but instead of 9, now there's only 6 cabins. But that's not all. I mean, this is where it gets really interesting, okay? Every building that you enter will have at least like 2 exits minimum. Maybe a front door, maybe a back door, but it could also be a front door and a window, since windows can all be opened and vaulted out of. Or maybe a front door and 2 windows. Remember, I did say 2 exits minimum, not maximum, so there could be more. So you as a counselor enter this cabin, you barricade the front door and one of the two windows, leaving the other open for you to escape in case you need to. And that works out great for you. And then the next time you play, you see the exact same campground, the exact same cabin setup, and you do the exact same thing. You barricade the front door and one window, leaving the other open for, you to try to escape from, since it worked out so great for you last time. But after you get everything barricaded exactly as you did before, you'll get killed from behind by Jason while you're still inside the cabin, because this time the cabin actually had a back door as well, because you assumed it was the exact same thing. Now, in this game, what I'm getting at is that they not only RNG rolled the number of cabins and their locations, they even RNG rolled the doors and the windows separately. Meaning, just because a cabin may look the same, even if it's placed in the same location as it was before, there's a really high chance that there's something different about this cabin that you'll need to pay attention to, making the gameplay different every single time you play. So you're getting a new experience every time you play, and that's awesome. A few other things that are RNG rolled as well to help keep maps more interesting and ever changing are like different items that are inside the cabins. Where vehicles spawn on the maps, their vehicles are not going to spawn at the same spot every time. They don't want you to get used to that kind of thing. Where the phones spawn on the map, those are going to be random as well. Where items and weapons spawn, where parts to fix vehicles and other things spawn, where you spawn, where the police spawns, and so many other things as well. There's going to be a lot of things that are completely randomly generated on the maps so that you do not get tired of playing them. So as you can see, the map may be the same by name, but the layout can be completely different every time. You can basically continue playing all the time this whole brand new horror experience and just never get tired of it. And I think that is awesome. Now, I asked Wes Keldner how many rounds would it take before you could see maybe the same setup again, and he told me it's highly unlikely that you will ever see a repeat due to the amount of different things that are being separately rolled on all of the maps. And again, that's great in my opinion, because I personally want that true horror experience time and time again. And if you get used to a map, then it's like human nature to do the same thing over and over again to try to survive. And that's why most horror games kind of get old after you play through them a couple of times, because you know what to expect, you know how to beat them, you know where all the jump scares are, so then it kind of gets boring. But with this, with the way the maps are being randomly generated, it should keep you on the edge of your seat the whole time. So, you can basically just get that horror experience over and over again, and I personally just cannot wait to play it. Now, as for the Higgins Haven map, I cannot confirm, but I do not believe that the main house will be different every time as you play, as this is an iconic focal point on the map, and so much went into recreating it. So I don't believe the layout and the furniture and stuff will change in this house, but they still could change what items can be found in the house. So, maybe vehicle parts and phone parts and things of that nature. So, those kinds of things I believe could change, but for example, also even some of the surrounding locations on the map could change, like the campsites and the vehicles and stuff. As we already said before, vehicles are going to be randomly spawned. So, this map, even with, Higgins Haven being this iconic focal point and potentially probably not changing the structure of the building or what's inside, it still has, its RNG base to it and could still basically give us that new experience every time we play. So that's awesome in itself as well. Well guys, that about wraps it up for this video. As I said before, the information right now is kind of limited, but as soon as I find out more, I will be sure to post it on the channel. Also, just as an announcement, I have been invited into the future closed beta for this game on PC. The date for that has still yet to be announced, but when it takes place, I will be sure to be bringing you guys a lot more gameplay coverage on this game on the channel, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Now, in regards to the beta, as of right now, it's going to come to PC first, and it's going to be a closed beta, mostly reserved to people who donated to the game while it was still a Kickstarter. But if you're interested in trying to get into the beta, then make sure you follow Friday the 13th the game on social media like Twitter and Facebook, for example, as they said they may hand out a few codes on those outlets down the road. As for a console beta, they do want to have one, but nothing is set as of right now, so stay tuned for more details on that in the future. Also, remember, today is the 15th of July, so the new update to the virtual cabin is coming out today, which should unlock Jason's room. So I will be bringing you a video on that here very, very soon. Anyway, guys, let me know what you all think about the maps and how they're generated, because I know, me personally, I think it's really cool, and, you know, I love what they're doing with it. But I want to know what you guys have to say about it. I want to know what you guys think as well. So make sure you go ahead and drop, a comment down in that section below and let me know what you all think. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope it helped you out. And if it did, please feel free to go ahead and smack that like button down below. And don't forget to subscribe to join the Charminati today. And you guys are more than welcome to go ahead and comment below and follow me on Twitter to stay up to date with all my YouTube videos. I'm CharminEXSoft, and as always, thanks for watching. And y'all come back now, you hear?